Hello to all and welcome back into the channel. So in today's video we're going to cover the likelihood of Agnes, Dottie, or Director Hayward being used by Mephisto. But before we get into that, we will first look into their histories, whether that be in their comic book source material, as is the case for Agnes. We'll also discuss the intricacies of their role in the show, and lastly, how it will all tie into the plot of Wanda Vision moving forward. So careful for spoilers if you haven't already seen the first 4 episodes, and let's just dive into it. So first up on our list is Dottie, who just like Director Hayward, has had limited screen time, but is noticeably far more significant than her Wanda Vision counterparts. One of Dottie's first lines of dialogue, or her third just to be more specific, happens in the second episode, which is the infamous Devil's in the Details line to Beverly. Now while this might present itself as the most incriminating piece of evidence yet by any character,
how convenient.
One thing that is mighty convenient is that since Agnes tells Wanda,
"Your neighbor to the right, my right, not yours,"
I wonder if anyone else noticed how this convenience is further shown, being that Dottie is Wanda's next door neighbor to the left. That's right, putting Wanda smack in the middle of the two. Now Dottie is the first to echo,
For the children.
For the children.
She's also hyped as being the key to everything in town, which in turn causes Wanda to even mimic her actions. Now to be fair, despite her Simon Says attitude, there are certain clues pointing towards her being under the spell as well. For one, she tells Wanda that she's heard things about her and her husband. Secondly, she is unamused by Vision's levitation before the fake reveal of the rope at the talent show, leading me to believe that she's more than likely suspicious of the two. But most importantly, she is undeniably shocked when Agent Wu is overheard over the radio. So much so that she breaks the glass in her hand, yet goes back to normal after the edit. And lastly, it's almost as if she's trying to wake up from a spell that has engulfed Westview as Agent Wu is speaking through the radio. For me, if I had to choose, I'd say she's probably a decoy set up by the show writers based on these facts. Yet, Agent Wu is mysteriously missing a witness, and Dottie's profile is absent from the board. Perhaps Dottie changed her appearance. Who knows? Could be anything. Clearly, one of the most culpable of the 3 on this list is, of course, Wanda's delightful next-door neighbor, Agnes. In the comics, however, Agatha Harkness served as a mentor to the likes of Franklin Richards, who is Reed Richards' son from the Fantastic Four and is stupid OP.
Okay, put a pin in that, we'll be back to it.
She's also been depicted as comic Wanda's mentor and teacher, which is kind of being fulfilled by the show in the way that Agnes is showing Wanda the ropes in Westview. With all of that being said, Agnes seems to be the only one with something to lose should the illusion come crashing down. Yet it seems that some in town are slowly becoming aware and have subconscious slips due to s.w.o.r.d trying to infiltrate the barrier. This is something that she never alludes to either with Wanda or Vision, at least 4 episodes into the show's run. Since Agnes or Agatha has had a comic history of serving as governess to the most powerful children, i.e. Franklin Richards, her resume is packed to the brim, so to speak, no pun intended, for what she will inevitably manifest in the show. Since Agnes gives Wanda marriage advice and a rabbit commonly known as a fertility symbol, and is a multiple thousand-year-old witch, we're due for some type of twist with her character of epic proportions. Not to mention the pendant, but we'll get to that in the next segment. Last on the list is Director Hayward, who was introduced to us in episode 4. Now, to be honest, before he shares his sentiment about things being awkward with Monica, I initially got a vibe from Monica that even though she's being respectful, for the most part, I wasn't sure if they were really seeing eye to eye, so to speak. Still, it wasn't a big deal. But after rewatching their walk to his office several times, the fact that s.w.o.r.d once had the word creation in the acronym highlighted during our initial meeting of him, mind you. And the fact that he even made her wait, even though their meeting was scheduled, a suspicion began to creep in. So grab your conspiracy hats. In the comics, Wanda's powers are referred to as either hex magic or chaos magic, but AIM uses the identical shape as well. And nope, I'm not giving up on my AIM theory, and here's why. There are multiple instances of hexagons riddled throughout s.w.o.r.d. Director Hayward just so happens to send an agent through the barrier who just so happens to translate into a beekeeper. Now when Monica was pulled in, she became part of the show. The beekeeper seemed threatening right out of the sewer. But what Director Hayward tells Agent Wu is nearly misleading if you're truly searching for answers as to what is going on. It seems like he could be trying to hide some information, which leads me to the pendant that Agnes wears. There are 3 figures, one of them holding a scythe. If Dottie is one figure and Agnes the other, who then is the third? What role, if any, does Hayward play in the grand scheme of things? Because it's made clear by the 2nd episode that Agnes knows the MCU Wanda is not capable of achieving this reality of her own power, beguiled or not.
Or maybe I could just be myself, more or less.
Oh, Wanda.
Is it then possible that Director Hayward is involved in the creation of a goddess out of Wanda to fulfill s.w.o.r.d's aim? And the mysterious data that is being crunched by Vision for Mr. Hart's company, could that be for s.w.o.r.d? Because what business would a magic spell have to do with input and output of data? Is it possible that Hayward is a Skrull? Given the fact that in the comics, the director of s.w.o.r.d is a woman with green hair by the name of Abigail Brand, a mutant that speaks multiple forms of alien dialect. But I do think the answers to all these questions are coming soon.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
In any case, post your comments down below, let us know what you think. Do us a huge favor and hit that like button and click the bell for more content like this. And until then, see you then.